Hello.
Hello, hello.
It's Facebook. How are you?
I'm sorry, I'm old. I'm old.
No, no.
No, it's not you. We have problems getting going live on Facebook anyway.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
I do apologize. I'm doing this in the car. We had sectionals for volleyball tonight, so
Awesome. Yes. I know those nights. No worries all. Thank you so much for joining. Everyone, this is episode 14 of Sister Soul Sessions. Yes. And today we are going to be joined by Mr. Nathaniel Doss III, community activist and real estate agent and owner. So we're just going to ask a few questions, get to know you a little bit. I am one of your hosts, Brittany, joined by my little sister. Amanda, if you want to introduce yourself.
The co-host, Amanda Armour, the lip gloss boss.
Yes, and joined by our wonderful special guest. Thank you so much for giving us a time tonight. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your business, and we can just get to know you a little bit.
okay. Again, my name is Nate Doss III. I am a real estate investor. I am not an agent. I am an investor, and I wouldn't even call myself a community activist. I'm just a very involved parent. I think a lot of things that are going on in the community really caught my attention because of our children.
Yes, for sure. And that is a very important factor and a very important way for you to get involved. I do see that you have been involved in quite a few things outside of sports and things like that with community. One being with our housing market. So I know that you said that you're a real estate investor. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you got involved in real estate?
Sure. Real estate's been a passion of mine since I was probably about 3. I grew up in a family. We've owned our own real estate firm for over 65 years. My grandfather sat on the board of Small Business Association in the state of Ohio. My father is a real estate investor, him and my mother. So I was the kid that in kindergarten, I took the house books to school and was trying to sell the houses out the books to my kindergarten class. And then in 2nd grade, I didn't want a book bag anymore. I took a briefcase. So that's the kind of kid I was. And then I just knew, bought my first house at 19. My dad asked me what took me so long because I had a younger brother who bought his at 17.
Oh, wow.
So, it's just really is a passion and something. As I got older, and when I was younger, I looked at it as money. It was a quick way to make some money. And that's what drove my interest. But as I got older, I really understood how I was shaping communities. A lot of our tenants, they were single parent homes. They were low income families. And during the early 2000s, mid 2000s, we were able to give them safe and comfortable homes that they could afford and help them towards home ownership, because at that time I was doing mortgages.
Right.
So put them in the home on a lease purchase, work with them on their credit. As a landlord, it worked for me because I had someone in my home who was going to purchase the home and who wouldn't bother me for every little thing, who would take pride in it. And then as a mortgage broker, I knew I had a guaranteed client. So it really worked out. It worked out very well for us. Chattanooga, we don't have any homes here. A lot of my homes are in Ohio and in Virginia, where I grew up in both of those places. So those were they at. And when I started looking into the Chattanooga market, it just exploded around me really quickly. So it's a very tough market right now for investors. I understand people are still making money in there. I'm old school. If I can't make triple what I want, then I'm spoiled. I'm used to those times.
Right.
So,
Right.
But I'm patient because I know everything in real estate is a cycle and it's going to come back. I see people complaining about the high interest rates right now. It's still your home.
Yeah.
It's high right now, but then you can refinance and you can get into lower rates. But at the same time, you're building equity in your home. You're a part of a community, and now you have a true voice in that community because you're paying taxes. So that means people are beholden to you, our elected representatives, and that's something that I truly believe in. Elected representatives should reflect the desires of the community.
Is that what got you involved? I know that you did some time where you were actually trying to become an elected official, things like that. Is that what drove you to that? And can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yes, I've started off with Congress, ran for the 3rd district, which is Chattanooga, all the way up. It's a very gerrymandered district. It goes all the way to the border of Kentucky.
Okay.
And what got me interested in that was January 6th. When that happened, as a retired Marine, that really affected how I felt. I have my 2 oldest sons. Our 2 oldest sons are in the Marines currently. And when January 6th happened, my wife was very concerned what was going to happen. I kind of went through some of the things I had been through as far as what steps were going to be taken, because I was in during 9/11. So
Wow, okay.
kind of was able to explain those things, those steps to her, kind of eased her mind. But as an American, it really irritated me that the group of people in America who really should be disgruntled with America has never in the history of America done something on this level. And that really irritated me, that it was really trying to be swept under the rug. And especially in a state like Tennessee, where the Republicans are in a super majority and Democrats seem very complacent.
Right.
I thought, as far as myself, I was retired. I'm retired. None of my income is made in the state of Tennessee. So I thought that kind of put me in a unique situation to where, as a man and as a family person, or as a person who makes decisions for their family, you do not want your income affected by decisions you try to do for the community.
Right.
So I felt we were in a very unique situation that I can be voiceful and forceful with how I felt about things, and I still do. We During that time while I was running for Congress, we lost my grandmother, the matriarch of my family. My mother was ill, so I stepped away. But then the community came calling for me to run for county commission for our district, District 5, and I stepped in very late. My wife and I, we ran a great campaign. It was honest. We did a lot of things in the community. We brought a lot of focus to certain areas. And unfortunately, we lost. And unfortunately, the person that won has done everything that we said he would do. And that is all self-serving actions. This first day in office, he tried to reallocate $900,000 from 2 nonprofits here in Chattanooga to his own personal nonprofit.
Wow.
It set such a bad, it was going to set such a bad precedent that Republicans were offended.
Yeah.
So it really set a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't know. I wish I could come on here and make a statement that I'm running in 3 years. I really can't at this moment. I just don't know. It took a lot from our family. It took a lot from me. But I'm still in the community. We're still fighting. We opened a store last year that was focused on Black-owned businesses. At one point, we had 62 local Black-owned businesses in our store. And since then, I've seen a lot of those businesses grow within themselves. And I'm very proud of that. We closed the store due to health issues. But yeah, it was that
And
eventually.
I'm a witness to that. The store was doing really great. You gave a lot of people in our community an opportunity. A lot of us wanted our things in stores, and we went. Myself personally went around to different Black-owned stores and wanted my products inside, and they basically told me no. And you gave an opportunity, had a platform, and you didn't tell nobody no. Like you said, you had over 62 people, and
That's
you
awesome.
promoted every last one of them. And
Yes,
I, give you your flowers for that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. It was an idea my wife and I had after I lost the county commission race. She let me sulk for about 2 or 3 days, and then she said, "What's next? I know you. So what's
I love
next?"
that.
And I told her. She said, "I was like, no, I'm tired. Let's just focus on our family. Let's focus on our businesses." She said, "No, Nate, I know you." She said, you weren't doing this for any other reason that you love our community. So what's next?" And we saw the store. We reached out to Councilwoman Coonrod, who is amazing in the community, who is amazing elected official, and someone who is visible in the community. And she had helped us get the building, got us in contact with the owner of the building, and we were able to do a lot of great things with a lot of business. And those 62 businesses were business partners. They helped the business grow, and just as much as we did. Very proud that a lot of them have now become family friends. And even though the store is closed, we still go to this, buy from them. I'd rather buy from them than buy from the store now. We make a very concerted effort to buy black at least 3 times a day.
That's amazing.
And if it has to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then that's what we do. But if
that's amazing. Buy black.
We have to. And, during COVID, that's where it really started for us, because we were the ones that were affected by COVID the hardest.
Yes.
We were
me and my sister discuss and talk about that all the time, because it really woke everybody up. I know that, especially in our community, Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's a lot of hate and fight, crime and all that, but we really did pull together. Like I say all the time, a lot of us didn't know how talented we were and the opportunities that we had out there until COVID. A lot of people started reading, started focusing on their life, because we were affected. If nobody else was affected, I felt it.
Yes. And it gave us that balance that we were looking for. Once we had a taste of being able to make money and have our home work life balance that we were all desperate for. Again, when COVID happened for me, I had just retired probably about 6 months before that.
Wow.
So I was already at home.
Yeah.
But it allowed for me to get more acquainted with my teenage children, my adult children, and really have those conversations with. And I learned that their generation is very involved and interested in politics and what's going on in society. And it's the I will always say this is my generation that dropped the ball. We were benefactors of everything that the previous generations accomplished, and we thought we made it. We were living the American dream and didn't keep fighting. And I'll be honest, my wake up moment for me, and I tell everyone this, was Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
That was my wake up moment, because I had we have 3 older boys. We were living in Red Bank, and I was like, whoa, you can't do what your friends are doing. You can't act the way your friends are acting, and this is why. And they, for the first time, they were like, well, you told me no one's better than me. Why?
Yeah.
And that is true, but this is because I want you to come home. I love you. My job is to protect you as your father, and my job is to give you the real. And I failed at that because I was living the American dream that is really, it's camouflaged for us. So that was my personal wake up moment, and where I was like, it's not good enough for us in the Black community to make sure that the children in our home or our families are taken care of. We have to reach outside and bring along those that may be knuckleheads, that may not want to come. And some people, some of my younger mentees will tell you that I'm there. I'm making sure, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Because my biggest fear after that was, I can love on my children and pour into them as much as I can, but someone that is either jealous or someone that doesn't know or have someone in their life like that can take them away from me just as quickly. So those were reasons that, and I will say that my our oldest friends group, friends groups, they were 2-parent homes. And I told them, you don't understand how blessed you are to see this, because I know growing up, a lot of mine were 2-parent homes who ended up becoming 1-parent homes. So, it was to have a friend group that was all coming from 2-parent homes. That was a blessing. And the fathers and we were able to make sure that we instilled in them that, hey, this is why. Watch out for each other. This is why you do this. And, Chattanooga, I moved here 10 years ago as a single father. with 5 children, 200 miles away from our closest relative. And I've been here 10 years now, married to my wife for 5. It's been a real blessing and a life change. Only God led me here. So,
Amen. And being such a servant of the community, making sure that, you know, your brother's keeper really is what I hear like your motto is most of the time. How do you keep that same work-life balance? Because now your life, your work, everything has become being a you know, a servant of the community. So how do you find that with your family and things like that?
a lot of times they come with me. My wife is extremely involved. Typically, if you see her, you see me, and vice versa.
I love that.
Our children, when I was running for office, when I was knocking on doors, they would come with me. They would put signs up. They would, my sons would come home from the Marines. Our sons would come home from college, and our daughters would come home from college, and they would walk and talk doors. And they were like, "Dad, what do I say?" Beautiful. I was like, "Tell them about your dad. That's all you have to do. Tell them why, you know, tell them the good. Tell them how I yelled at you." And I was like, because people want to hear that you were held accountable as well. You know, tell them that I wasn't perfect. And when I wasn't, one of the things I would do with our children is I would call a timeout. Hey, we haven't spoken 3 days, 4 days. Come here for a minute.
Right.
No,
I miss you. I love you. You know, we can't keep doing this. And I will say that, you know, that's something that was a real blessing that I was able to remove. And sometimes it was me. Maybe I misunderstood something. And what my wife is teaching me a word over the last 5 years, I'm a slow learner, empathy. I was missing out of my toolbox. So, you know, being a Marine, being the oldest of 8 children, being a father of 11, empathy was not inside of my toolbox. Discipline was, but you know, that's something that she is making sure that I throw into my daily behavior. So
ain't nothing wrong.
And you need that partner. And you need that partner to sharpen it, you know? So
well, I don't have my partner, but my word of the year has been accountability.
Yes.
I've been holding myself and everybody is accountable of everything.
We have to. I like when you post your vision board, and that was something that when I saw that, I was like, wow, I've never done that. But I'm more of, I write stuff down, and that way I can look at it and then I can go back to it. But yeah, I like when you posted your vision board on your story.
Well, thank you. I try. That's what keeps me motivated. Like I said, accountability. If I see it, I'm doing it, and I just put it in my face every day. And I everybody get on social media and everything and do things. So I just post. You know, that's my vision board. Everybody do things differently. Like you say, you write yours down. I post mine or take a picture.
Right.
They say take a picture, it lasts longer.
That's it.
Right.
That is it.
No, but earlier you spoke on our community and how you made a way for our community to be homeowners and things like that. So with that, obviously, there's a lot of gentrification that's coming about. I mean, it's been a thing since, you know, I was a kid, you know, I'm an 80s baby, so that's all I've known, right? And, you know, the crack epidemic and them coming in, things like that. Right. How do you combat that when you're an investor in real estate and trying to keep prices low for our community?
One of the ways that I have combated that is I haven't sold. I've held on to my assets.
I love that.
And another thing is that I really do try to look for those in our community for people that are ready to take that next step to home ownership. And a lot of things I will tell people that is just take the plunge. You know, a lot of people are like, I'm not ready to buy the house. I'm not ready to do this. Or interest rates it's never going to be a perfect scenario. Nothing in life is ever going to be perfect. But if you want to talk about, everyone uses this terminology of generational wealth. And I think it's been commercialized, because generational wealth just doesn't start with 7 streams of income or anything like that. It really comes with a plan. How are you going to now pass that down to your children? How, you know, the little things that my father and my grandfather were doing by taking me on their appointments for real estate really put those seeds in my head early.
Right.
The same things when I took our children into homes to look at them while they were completely destroyed and let them I walked them through my vision. Those types of things. All of our homes are set up to where I guess I always have a if everything goes bad mentality. If the bottom fell out,
right.
I would be perfectly okay moving into one of our homes because I had to set it up comfortable enough to where I would be able to survive, regroup, and come back out with a plan. And I've had to regroup. I was married previously. I was single for 13 years before meeting my wife. I was married previously, and in the midst of the divorce, the most important thing to me was my children. So I gave all of our property and businesses away so that I could be involved in their lives. So it was I was a horrible father because I was so focused on being retired by 30, making sure I had enough money. I was very tunnel vision, and the divorce was awakening that now I had to be father and mother while they were with me.
Just provider,
and
but that's where the empathy comes in.
Right. And it was the biggest blessing. I didn't know what that word was until I met my wife. I'm just going to be honest.
Awesome. No, it's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was and like, the biggest
growth,
blessing because I was able to take a step back and be like, wow, this is all that I missed out on. This is what life is really about. And I was able to slowly reamass a stronger legacy for our children than what I had before.
No,
I like that.
Amazing.
You're about to make me cry over here.
Because you never know where your blessings will come from, when your life seemed like everything you've known for all that time has fallen apart, and now you're just left with stuff, what I mean? You're just left with all the rubble. So yeah, you building it back up is beautiful.
I mean, when you go from building your home to living in your dad's basement for 6 months, eating popsicles so that you can get your kids' school clothes, then
Man,
you have an appreciation.
You about to make me cry.
You have an
that's big. Yeah.
It really and then like I said, I had a very strong parents who were there for me and who wouldn't let me be anything less than the father that I was made out here to be.
Right.
Amen.
And then and they hold me accountable as a husband now as well. So when I'm in here out in the community, I meet a lot of strong men that are already out here doing great things. I'm not an attention seeker. So even this interview, I was like, why do you want to talk to me? I'm not doing anything.
No way.
But I really am someone who do a lot of things behind the scenes. When I support people, I don't make a big deal about it. It's really it's just really, I want people to know that, hey, you aren't alone. If you served 3-4 people today, or if you had 3 clients this week, it's progress. Keep building on it.
And that's what I like about you. I haven't worked with you personally yet.
Right.
But I like what I've seen. You've always been supportive. You've shared my posts. People around me, that's what they talk about. Like, I know a couple of people who was in your store or whatever, and it's just nothing been but great opportunities, great words about you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, let me shoot him a little message because he think don't nobody see what he doing, but we see what you doing in the community, and I want to give him his flowers.
That really means a lot to me because I'm telling you, the community, and as you're speaking on gentrification, especially in the Brainerd area right now, is really heavy because we've lost downtown. And we're going to lose the south side here soon of Chattanooga here very shortly. And Brainerd is almost deliberately being gentrified very nastily.
Yeah.
I joke, and when I tell people that in the morning when I'm taking my children to school, it's almost like The Walking Dead waking up and they're walking down Brainerd Road, and I'm trying to dodge them as they're moving in and out of the street. We have 2 plasma centers, but no grocery stores.
Right. Wow. And I was just telling my friend that, like, I feel like it's a black cloud over Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just dark to me. Like, in every every day I just kept asking God, please, I want to make it out of Chattanooga. I want to make it out of Chattanooga. It's just that. It's just a feeling. And no lie, when I be traveling and stuff, every time I come back home, it rains and it gets really dark. And that's no lie. That's not how he said Walking Dead. That's how it really is. Like Chattanooga is really sinking, and it be your own people. Like nobody wants to listen. Nobody want to wake up. Everybody think it's a game, and really, you know, these people out here playing in our face and really don't care. And it's just nasty. It's mean. It's upsetting. You know, it's frustrating. And then you do have people like yourself, Nathaniel, that wants to help the community, and then, you know, people fight you, you know what I'm saying, on trying to fight for your community, you know, so it's just crazy.
You know,
but I respect everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you. You know, and like I said, I really couldn't do anything without making a lot of the connections I've made in the community. I was just speaking to my bishop the other day that there's a lot of chiefs, not enough Indians. And I said, you know, I want to be an Indian. Let me do the grunt work, because I don't have to lead. As long as the job gets done, that's what's most important to me. And making sure that, you know, when I was running, I was on a phone call for a new build construction community in Brainerd. And one of the questions I asked the lady was, how many homes out of these 300 homes are you setting aside for first responders, blue collar workers, people that are community, that work for our community partners like EPB, Volkswagen, Amazon, those types of places? What are you doing? And she said, well, there aren't any grants available. But you're coming into a community.
People, in the community, wow.
You're displacing, and you're turning in a community that 3 years ago we bought our house in for $189,000, and now you have homes selling for way over $500,000 on my street.
Wow.
Right. Did you see the post that everybody been posting on Facebook that the house was just renovated and he want $2,000, but everybody talking about how the area and the houses next to it and across the street, like he want $2,000.
Well, that's gentrification,
like for this house.
And that's what they do, and it's happened in Black communities so much. Yeah, it's happened in every Black community. I'm in Kansas City, and you know they split the Black community into 4 different communities with the highway. And just how they were able to break that up into 4. And then, you know, once you're displaced, then you can take one section and then another section, you know what I mean? And further move our people. I keep telling, you know, our communities, especially with, you know, the border situation, we keep getting more and more immigrants. Us as a community are getting lost. We're already losing all these jobs. We're not being educated at the rate that we're supposed to get the new advancements of jobs. And then all of the immigrants are coming in, taking any of the jobs we had, the Volkswagens, the, you know, any of the labor jobs that we have. So it's very important to keep these communities strong and set aside places for us to live. You know, we don't even have the hoods anymore. So
no, I mean, when I moved here in 2013, the Hispanic population at Howard High School, which is an historically Black high school here, was less than 20%. Now, I wouldn't say it's 60%. It is that, and the Hispanic community in that area has taken what we were renting, and they purchased, and now
they're able to buy.
Made it because they have the mindset of, we will pool our money together.
As a family,
and each one of us will buy one eventually, even if it takes 10 years. And when you talk to there's like-minded people, and I will say that, but in our community, where I think we really fall short is, we like the instant gratification, and we need to be strategic when we plan. Hey, this is going to be a 20-year goal. This is going to be a 30-year goal, because we didn't lose the hoods overnight. We lost them over the last 30 years.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people. They was like, oh, this is gone, this. I'm like, look, we didn't just lose Boom Hike yesterday.
No.
They was planning this over a period of time, when they kept throwing threats out there saying they're going to close it down, and nobody believed it. Everybody kept continue living on their life, and then guess what? everybody that lived there, they have nowhere to go.
Right.
Or they just like, oh, we got a voucher, we can move somewhere else. Yes, but you're just gonna keep moving around, because eventually where you gonna go, you're gonna run out of places to go. Exactly. They buying up the city, and they didn't happen overnight. They've been planning this.
When I moved to Chattanooga and I saw what they were building along the riverfront, I said, oh, the west side is next to go. I knew it was coming. Now, it's taken 10 years since I said that. And I went to, 2 years ago, I went to their idea of the West End. And
the new generation.
Right. And they were explaining what was going to happen. And I was like, there's no way you're telling me that people who are paying $3,000 to rent are now going to live near people who are on Section 8. That has never happened in America. So, and then recently I just read that if they couldn't afford a certain amount in rent outside of their voucher, then they couldn't do the 1-for-1 that they were telling them they were going to tear down one and build one. So now we have the west side who's getting ready to be displaced.
Yeah, because they already started building housing and complexes and stuff all through downtown.
But we can't, the term affordable housing does not apply to us. Right. Affordable is for $2,000 and up.
And you have to make 3 and 4 times that to even get approved for something like that. And we only get paid $10 an hour.
Well, our community partners aren't even paying enough for a blue-collar worker at Volkswagen to afford $2,000 a month. Not with a car note, not with utilities, and please don't have any children and want to eat.
And want to eat.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start fasting and juicing real quick.
Right. You need a neighborhood garden out of necessity.
Don't ask me for no steak, no chicken, no none of that, baby. We drink.
Well, yeah, I read a few weeks ago that that they're not even accepting a lot of the housing vouchers in places anymore either. So where does that leave our community, and what suggestions would you have for, people who will be displaced, or,
start working on your credit. If you are on Section 8 currently, Section 8 helps you purchase a home. And they help you pay your mortgage, I believe, for the first 6 months to a year. Work on that credit. Invest that money with a reputable credit repair person. Reach out to mortgage brokers. They'll guide you to people to help you repair your credit so that you can come back to them and be a client and they can get you into a home.
And you know what's crazy? I went to Section 8 Housing Authority, I would say about 14 years ago, just going in, just to look around, talk to, that information is actually in the pamphlets and in the application in the Section 8 Housing Authority. But my generation, I would say, going there with just this one-track mind that I'm just going to be on Section 8, and they don't even know what Section 8 offer. And a lot of people get mad at me because they think that I talk bad about it because I was never on it, or I chose not to go their route. But to me, I just feel like a lot of people who had that opportunity don't take advantage of it.
Right.
Section 8 is basically a stepping stool for you to get your things together, for you to build your credit for a better life. But people get so relaxed and reliant on that they don't see nothing else. But it's in there. I read it myself. Like, they do help you with all those things that you just listed, but nobody will ever know that because why? We don't read and we don't pay attention. All they saying is, oh, we finna give you this and you ain't got to pay no rent. Oh, I ain't got to pay no rent. And that's all they think about.
And that's why we need to be in the schools with teaching this. These are life skills that need to be taught in the school. My wife and I, we have a lot of in-depth conversations, and they get a little heated, and especially about the community. But today she made a great point that these services need to be moved into the high schools. If we want parental involvement in these schools, and I asked her, well, where the money's going to come from? I said, because social workers are underpaid and understaffed. Teachers are underpaid and understaffed. Where are we going to get the people? Where are we going to get the money? And she had a great point. She said, we need to recruit out of college. We're going to work on paying off your student loans right out of college. And we're going to put you in an environment where you're helping families at the school. And that's a great idea, especially for schools in our community, because now you can come to the school and see your son cutting up, see your daughter acting up.
And learn something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, learn that little Nate isn't as good as I thought he was until I pop up on him.
You're right.
I was known at
and that involvement's necessary.
Right.
Yeah,
I was
that's true.
It's so
Because
necessary.
a lot of people, well, my peers, they say that, well, we wasn't taught that in school. So I like that you brought that up, because I wish that that was taught more in school, because a lot of people would have graduated more, or a lot of people would have just, just
had better life
stepped
skills.
up, like,
Right.
our parents, did what they could, but at the end of the day, our parents just knew how to provide.
Right.
So, nobody taught us that, you know what I'm saying? And the schools are not teaching us that. Like you said, they get underpaid, so they barely want to teach us, what they're, what the lesson plan is already.
You're in a classroom with 28 to 35 students. Maybe 10 of those students are disruptive. Now you're having to deal with behavior issues.
Mm-hmm.
Then so where is the lesson? So we're cutting down on the lesson plans. We're cutting down on the lessons for that period. So I always told my kids, be honest with me. If you messed up, just tell me you messed up, because I'm gonna go to bat for you if you messed up and you're honest, or I'm gonna fix the problem. But if it's if there's a disconnect with the teacher, then I need you to, so I can bridge that gap. And I've been very blessed at Hamilton County, because not then, but now we can afford to put our kids in private school. But I don't, because why? They get a great education at Brainerd. We've had children graduate from Brainerd, had children graduate from Red Bank. We have a child in magnet schools right now. So the education is there if you want to, if your child takes advantage of it, or if you're as a parent, you guide them to it. We just are missing parental involvement. From those 3 schools that I mentioned, it was sad at the disparity in parental involvement between those schools. I mean, it would handle a lot of behavior issues and monetary issues that the schools are having if you were there.
Right. These parents just sending them to school. They just looking at it as, oh, we get a free 8 hours of not dealing with our child.
I know.
And we send them to school.
Well, that's why COVID was such a, turn on everyone's head, because it brought the kids back into the homes, seeing, the relationship with the parents and how education was going to be ran.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, that was such a big wake-up call in so many areas on what we needed as a community and how we can actually grow. I feel like that's what it was for us. Like, all right, we see all these holes now. Let's go. Like, we don't need to be fighting with anybody else on what we need. Right.
Yeah, I had to pay $100 for an assessment because, and I got little children, and none of my oldest just went to middle school. So when they was coming home with all this homework and stuff, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, baby, I want to tell my child, baby, I'm a little slow.
We have high school.
Like, wait a minute, we're gonna do this. So I actually went to Sylvan Learning Center and paid for the $100 assessment just to see where I was at. Because how can I apply this to my child if I'm lacking of that? Because I didn't have a hands-on parent in school. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just woke me up like, okay, this is serious. If they get put out of school and stuff, you're gonna have to teach your child.
Right.
So teach your child right now what you didn't learn. Everything, whatever you didn't learn, teach it to your child. Because it was.
You know what I did? Honestly, what we did was we leaned on our community. We leaned on the relationships we had with the educators from different schools. We leaned on students that had graduated who were looking to make money in tutoring. Those were the resources that we reached out to, because one, the educators were like, okay, they see us, they're like, hey, I'm like, hey, I don't know this stuff, right. So I need your help, and I'm not asking you to do it for free. Where can I go? What do I need to do? And they were very happy because they knew when we came back, we had to hit the ground running, right. And so many of us were behind. And I agree with you. COVID was really an eye-opener. It allowed us to assess where we were at and where we wanted to go.
Right. And with that, given your unique perspective and experience, what advice or recommendations like do you have to make a positive impact on our communities going forward? So like
Just
how
get
would,
involved.
okay.
That's all I can say is really get involved. And if start small, start at your children's school, start at a school in your neighborhood if you don't have children. Just get involved. There's all kind of uh, programs out there to help young ladies and young men and parents. There are programs to help us. So get involved. And if you don't know,
yes, it is.
reach out. There's no dumb question when you're trying to better yourself. So, when I didn't know, I asked a lot of questions. When I wanted to know, hey, how can I help? Where do you need me at? What is
Right.
best? I'll do anything. I just told someone today on my post, I didn't know Brainer's grass was long. I was like, I don't even cut my own grass, but if that's a need, I'll drag my lawnmower over there if that's a need. But I hope that the principal and Coach Brown don't see that and call me to drag my lawnmower.
Right. So remember when you told us on Thursday?
All right, I'm gonna do it, but I ain't gonna be happy.
And that's the true definition of success, I feel. So I want to congratulate you again, because it really is being a servant first. And I feel like we've missed that a lot because, like you said, everybody wants to be the chief. You know what I mean? So we forget that in that you need to be a servant first. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want others to do for you. So like, actually act on that. So I just love that you lead with that, you teach your children that, and of course you got that from your father. So just that's generational wealth to me. You really teaching them and continuing that knowledge and pushing them to be community servants. So thank you again. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that. And no, I appreciate the platform. These are conversations that we need to have in our community with each other and hold each other accountable.
Right.
That's my word of the year.
Exactly.
We ain't got that long now, so if you ain't holding yourself accountable, you need to start tonight.
Today. It's never too late to start. And
yes.
Yes, it is. It really is. And help doesn't have to be on a large scale.
Right.
It can be, you don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to have a lot of time. I tell everyone we have 11 children and 2 grandchildren and 1 grandchild on the way. Thank you. So, we have children in 4 states. So, it really, they take a lot of our time but we still are involved. You may not see us, but if I have to point directions like, hey, here's a resource. I can't do it, but here's a resource. This is how you do it.
Right.
It's just really being there, being accessible, and being accountable to your community. It really is.
Right.
That's one of the things. When I don't feel like doing something, I'm like, if I don't do it, then I'm dropping the ball. I can't say something about someone else if I don't do it. So I get up and I do it. And when I get started, I'm usually like, okay, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I did.
Same.
And it's the support.
So if y'all see Nate cutting that grass, remember.
That means we hold him accountable because
Dr. Soul, I'm gonna have to send someone to cut it.
Right.
Like you said, 11 kids. Yeah.
Right. Dr. Soros, just call me. We'll work it out.
But no, that's amazing. And it is about holding ourselves accountable and holding our community accountable to each other. Remembering everybody that we are our brother's keeper. Yes. I know that is something that's been lost on our generation, because, we didn't have to go through, walking and getting hosed down and all the dogs and all of that. Right. But we're still in that fight.
We are.
And we still have warriors and we still have community, leaders that are willing to take the time to talk to us. So I definitely encourage everybody to reach out to Nate and see how they can help, especially in Chattanooga. And it looks like in other communities that he's involved in with his kids, because this is where we need to start, everybody, for real.
Definitely. And, I grew up in a city that's very similar to Chattanooga. It's very dear to my heart. And this is home. I love it here. My family is here. And, you know, and there are a lot of great people in this community. I don't have all the answers, but I know someone who does, you know, so I'll know someone who
And
has
ain't
the
nothing
answers.
wrong with that.
Right. So I really, ladies, before we end, I appreciate you again. This platform is amazing. We need safe spaces like this to have these kind of conversations, and also to uh, strategize on how we're going to continue to move forward. I
Yes.
can't stress enough. In Chattanooga in December, you are able to start picking up paperwork if you have idea of running for political office. We have city council seats available. We have school board seats available. We need people in there that are going to fight. We
Amen.
gave up a lot this last go round, Chattanooga. I was moved into a new city council district because we gave up a lot. The black vote is being diluted.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need people in there that are who want the job for more than just the job.
Right.
Yes.
We need people who are going to be there, who are going to study and understand what their role and their capacity is, and get things accomplished.
Right. We see what's happening right now in Washington, everybody. Let's start in our
Right,
small
right,
communities. Seriously, let's start in our small communities. Let's bring back the power to our communities
Right.
by helping each other. So it's definitely, it's dire. I don't know if everyone's watching what's going on, but we need each other and we need some type of stepping stone.
And
so
don't
definitely
get caught up in the Democrat Republican.
Right.
You know,
That.
be choosy. Let them court you.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats should not hold the black
vote. Right.
Right. Let them.
He said, just run again, right? We're trying to convince him. You hear us? You hear us?
I say that's an ongoing conversation.
Like you said, it took a lot, okay? But let us be an encouragement, and hopefully we can, lift you up to really do that. I know how difficult it is to put that all on your shoulders, but God gives his toughest battles to his toughest warriors. So,
but there are a lot of warriors in this community, and I will say that right now in these elections coming up, if there is any, obviously I don't have all the answers because I lost. So,
and that's okay. But you started.
But if I can be of any assistance to anyone, please let me know while you're running. I'm gonna be there, and have a plan and make sure the community is involved, because these are very important seats that are up for election, and we need to make sure that we are aware of what the issues are, what's happened previously, and where we want to go as a community.
Right.
And who's going to get us there?
So start having the conversations, right? Yeah. So let's start having these real conversations. And that's what this platform is about as well. We like to make sure that we're elevating entrepreneurs one soulful conversation at a time, and of course, bringing our community together. So thank you again. I want to make sure that before we end, everyone knows how to reach you or just follow you, uplift you, get involved in your any type of community involvement. Right. You liked what you heard. I know. Right. That's why we got to get them in front. That's why we got to keep getting them in front of the camera, because that's the only reason why people lose right now. It's just a big popularity contest.
Right.
And you already have one vote, as you see. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate
you
that.
just inspired somebody else. You just woke him up.
I really appreciate that. And you can reach me. I'm on Facebook almost 24 hours because I'm retired. So I'm on Twitter. Just reach out to me. My email is ndosii@gmail.com. Shoot me an inbox. Like I said, if you have an event, if you need some help, I'm there. And one quick thing I did want to drop though is people get behind, especially if you're on a fixed income with your property taxes. If your home is paid off, you have a certain amount of time after you lost your home to go back and pay your property taxes back up and reclaim your home. And that is lost in our community.
I didn't know that.
I've seen some homes that were taken for property taxes, and they were sold dirt cheap to people out of the state, and we lost people in our community because of that. We lost votes in our community.
I hope y'all heard that. It's never too late.
Never too late. Just ask, please, and
Right.
reach out and ask. Sometimes is you got to put the pride aside. I have many a times. I just
Right.
got slapped on the wrist today, and I took it because I misspoke. In my head, I was typing and had something what I thought, and
Right.
I understood how it could mislead someone.
Right.
So I went back and I apologized because the person that said it was absolutely right. You know, even though what I thought may not have been what someone else was thinking. So be
Right.
able to
Interpretation
I'm
is
still
everything.
learning.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right. I'm still able to I'm trainable.
Yeah. We all human, you
Right.
know, nobody's perfect.
But
You know, I like
he
to
held
say, I
himself
like to say,
accountable. And
right,
so,
right, right, right.
and
Right.
went back and rectified it. So yeah, no,
If you can't be a
that's
teachable person, you'll never grow.
right.
That's right. That's right. Again, ladies, I do appreciate y'all, and I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Think that was that Mr. Lloyd. I'm gonna definitely we're gonna get together.
Right, right. Well,
Yes,
thanks
awesome.
everybody for joining us for episode 14. We had a wonderful conversation with our guest speaker, Mr. Nathaniel Doss. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank
The
you.
interview was nice.
Yes.
Dropped some gems for everybody. He dropped his information. So you can reach him. Like he said, just ask questions. Don't hurt to ask questions. I'm Amanda Armour. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that. Make sure you follow us on
Every
Sister Soul
platform, yes.
Sessions.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. And
Bye.
Jump Smart Journal. Yes, we will have him back so that he can give some more real estate investment advice for our community. So he was just such a wonderful breath of fresh air here. We will definitely ask him to come back, everyone. But thank you, everyone, again for episode 14. And Mr. Nate, you have a wonderful night as well. Thank you so much.
Well, I can drop one gem on real estate.
Sure.
The state that you or excuse me, the city that you're in, they hold auctions typically once or twice a year that you can buy a home very cheaply. And for Chattanooga, it's held in June, I believe. So they auction off
Mark your
homes,
calendars.
vacant homes.